Joining us is Ondo State Governor Arakunrin Rotimi Akeredolu to talk on the Partners Summit and developmental strides in the state since his assumption of office. Good morning and thank you very much, Your Excellency, for joining us on the show.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Morning.
All right. Okay, well, since we're just talking about labor, and its demands for 30,000, let's even begin from there. You were quoted in October as saying that you cannot spend all the state's funds on paying workers' salaries. What exactly did you mean by that?
Well, I think you have faded away, but if I got your question correctly, I stand by what I said, that it is not prudent for any governor or any state to spend all its income on salaries. And that my position is very clear, that when you talk about salaries, you are talking about recurrent expenditure, and that for us to save for the future, or to think about the future of the state and the future of our children, we must have heavy investment in capital projects. So, but that is not to say that 18,000 is a wage that I believe is adequate for anybody. I'm not too sure I know that you can easily live on 18,000 naira per month as a wage. So I support that we must identify those who are vulnerable, and there must be an increase in their wages in a way in which we will balance what we have. This might have to lead to increase in allocation to state, and that is why a number of people have argued about issue of restructuring, that maybe more money should come to state if they have to increase the salaries. But I believe that those who are vulnerable, and we know them, it's not all of us, they are not directors, they are not permanent secretaries, there are levels in which you got into that you earn some salary that nobody can question that.
All right, let's come to your Governor Akeredolu. Let's come to your. Okay, thank you. Let's come to the Partners Summit now that is tagged Develop Ondo 2018. Talk to us about this summit. What does it hold, and why at this time? If you hear me, I'm asking, the Partners Summit that is coming up in Akure is tagged Develop Ondo 2018. Talk to us about this summit. What does it hold? What does it promise to deliver to the economy and Ondo people? All right, it seems we have lost a signal there. We have the governor of Ondo State, Rotimi Akeredolu, and we have been, when you asked earlier on, he reiterated the statement he made about labor.
Yes.
And talking about the fact that states cannot. Okay, I understand he is back. All right,
okay,
we have Governor Akeredolu with us from Akure, the governor of Ondo State. And I was asking earlier about the Partners Summit that is coming up in Ondo State, tagged Develop Ondo 2018. Talk to us about what it promises to deliver.
Well, what we are having in Ondo State, Develop Ondo, is our summit with our developmental partners. We have UNICEF, you have DFID, and so many of them. So what is set to achieve is to leverage on their areas of coverage. You know what UNICEF covers, you know what DFID covers, you know what Bank of Industry covers, you know what the Millennium Goal offices of the federal government covers. So all of them, the social investment, all of them came, and we felt that, look, let us all sit down to discuss how we'll go ahead in our very revealing partnership, because we have been in partnership with them over the years, and we felt that, look, let us combine together, let us leverage on what is available I mean, they have opportunity of explaining to us all finances of all their own areas of interest and where they have funds available now and how we can use them for the benefit of Ondo State. And the Develop Ondo Summit also has an additional area which has to do with education. And in education, we had to take up issue of relaunch of our Ondo State Education Fund. And this became so important because the thing had been in the doldrum for some time.
Okay, so that's why you're relaunching the Education Endowment Fund. But let's even talk about this summit and what it hopes to achieve. Ondo State is very known to have comparative advantage when it comes to cocoa and all the others. But what are the specific things that you'll be selling to these development partners that you expect to buy in to Ondo State? If the governor heard my question.
I guess.
Okay, let me just restate this very, very quickly. What are the critical areas, you know, that you'll be highlighting during the summit to make these development partners and foreign investors to actually, you know, come to Ondo State?
All right.
Well, we still seem to have that challenge.
You know, the signal. Okay, yes. I understand he's there now.
Okay. Arakuni Rotimi Akeredolu, if you heard my question, what exactly would you be putting forward for the development partners and foreign direct investors to actually attract them to come to Ondo State at the summit?
Well, what we intend to put, what we have put forward to them, not what we intend to put forward to them,
okay,
is to really sell Ondo State to them. We know our potentialities. We know we are prepared to work with all our developmental partners. And in that wise, we chose to let them come into Ondo State. As we started yesterday, there was a 20-25 minute video about what Ondo State is all about. And when they had even looked into it, all of them, by the time they passed their comments, by the time they read their goodwill messages, it was reference to that video, that coverage of what the potentials we have in Ondo State. So what we want them to appreciate or to know is that, look, this is Ondo State. This is the Sunshine State. This is the land of prosperity. This is where the government is ready to do business with everybody. And that we have set up our own DIPA, Ondo State Development and Investment Promotion Agency. We have set up, we are working at our rural areas. We are concerned about infrastructure. We are concerned about development of our minerals, some of the most of the mineral resources. We have shown them that, look, we have large deposits, for instance, of bitumen, second largest in the world. We have shown them cocoa. We have shown them that we are agrarian. So we have opened up Ondo to them. So it's like a workshop or a summit in which you see Ondo as it is. And that's what we have tried to do.
Okay. The people will certainly be waiting to see how this showing will translate into the actual industries, the actual construction, and the actual benefit for the economy of the state. Now, talk to us about, apart from the education endowment funds and all of that, what is the plan for road and even rural development and rural improvements? Well,
we have great plans to develop our rural area. And I'm happy to note that, look, like that we are carrying out major road constructions all over the state, in spite of the lean pause of the state, because we are committed to infrastructural development. But when it comes to roads leading to a rural area, we gave a promise that, look, we want to open up the rural area of the state to everybody, to the whole. For us, I want to live as governor that open up the rural area. So we are working with RAMP, that's Rural Access and Mobility Program of the World Bank. And what we have tried to do is that, look, we know a number of times you have hardening road. You don't have to pave, you don't have to asphalt. But what we have tried to do is to see whether we can use some enzymes to solidify our roads. And since it has been used in a few countries and it has worked, we have come to carry out the experiment, which ramp the World Bank is inspecting, and this was done about a month ago, so that when we use those enzymes and the roads are solidified, and which we have guarantees that those roads can last over 10 years. So we want to look at possibility of having access to our rural areas on these roads without having to asphalt them. That will be cheaper, and that will have, as the rural people have access from their farm to market.
And all these achievements will depend largely on human capital development. We hear that you've done quite a lot in renovating schools in Ondo State. How is this rubbing off on human capital development?
Well, the effect is tremendous. You need to just come to Ondo State and see what the effect or what we have tried to do. Ours is that we want to make the school, many more schools available for more children. We want to make the public schools attractive. A number of our school children, by the time we came in, we had some top schools, but there are very few. We felt that, look, there were total neglect of public schools. So we needed to bring them up, and that was where we had to have a partnership. We paid our accountable fund to use BEC and SUBEB, that is State Universal Basic Education Service. We had to now work to get all the primary schools and junior secondary schools renovated. We have done it for as many as over 400 schools, but we're still counting because we have paid our counterpart for the next year, and we are going to go ahead to renovate schools so that students in public schools will be attracted. So then we develop human capital. And a lot is being done, for instance, by the First Lady in solar, in a boot camp, that we invite several people from all over the state to have part of computer training, ICT, and do on solar. So these are the things we are trying to do for human capital development.
Okay, we must thank you very much, Arakuni Rotimi Akeredolu, the governor of Ondo State, for talking to us. And you've been talking about the Partners Summit ongoing in Ondo State. Thank you very much for sharing your time with us on the program.